Hello Flight Simmers, welcome back to the channel and welcome to the year 1956. Yes, today we did a bit of time travel and we went far back in history. I was honestly considering to bring this video to you in black and white, but I figured let's not go too crazy here. We still want to enjoy the colors and the looks of the sim, of course, as they are. So here we are in full color mode, and yeah, today we are flying the PMDG DC-6, and this is the first time I'm using this aircraft on the channel, and I feel like I should give a very brief introduction to what we are doing here today and why you are seeing this aircraft on my channel. So for those of you who are familiar with the TJ Pilot channel, you know that I put a lot of emphasis on flying real-world aviation routes, preferably those which are flown at the time I'm doing this video, or around about at the time I'm doing the video. So I tend to be very, let's say live when I do aviation flights. But now with Microsoft Flight Sim being in place, and basically we are limited to two proper airliners, which are the Phoenix and the PMDG 737. I figured it's also a good time to try something new. And this is what we are doing today. So we are doing a real world aviation route, but from a long time ago. And so we are sitting here at Seattle today, and we are flying this beautiful aircraft in the Pan American World Airways colors. And I will also show you the flight plan for today. So this is how it looks like. For those of you who don't know, there is a very cool website called timetableimages.com, and there you can find all these very old historic real-world flight plans. And so I spent some time on that website and I found something, a nice flight which we can do here. And this is this one. So Pan American Airways, and here you can see these are the different days of the week, and yeah. Today is, let's call it Thursday. Actually, the flight we're doing happens on Tuesday, Thursday, and Sundays, I believe, because we are heading on Pan American Airlines 905 from Seattle to Juneau. I hope I pronounced that correct. So that's the flight we are doing. And I really love reading these old timetables. And we can see that this was operated by a DC-6 based on this small logo up here. So there's like this globe sort of logo, and you can see down here the globe is Douglas DC-6 Bravo. And yeah, first class, all first class service we are doing today. And we will depart Seattle at 14 local and get to, Juneau. There we are at no, where are we? 1750. There we are. Got a little bit lost here. So this is the flight we are doing. I'm very much looking forward to that, and yeah, it's not too long of a flight. It takes us 4 hours to get there today, and these aircrafts, of course, are capable of quite tremendously long flights. So also back in the 50s, they did these round the world services, of course with multiple stops in between. But these DC-6 aircrafts, they can go quite some distance and stay in the air for 10 hours and even more. So that's quite fascinating. And actually this aircraft, I've had this installed on my computer since quite some time, since it was basically the first high fidelity aircraft for Microsoft Flight Sim. And using it, I've learned so much regarding the old days of aviation, and it's truly fascinating. I can only recommend it to every one of you. Get yourself one of these historic airliners and read into all these topics of navigation and how these are operated and flown and the routes they've been served, and yes, truly fascinating stuff. And so I think today it's a good chance for us to do this trip in history. So here we are in the flight deck of the DC-6, and before we get started, I quickly want to mention that I'm of course today making use of the flight engineer, which has been implemented by PMDG, and I think this is really a brilliant feature. These aircrafts are very difficult to fly, although in many ways It's also kind of similar to modern aircrafts, but nevertheless very different to handle. And so I think most of us, myself certainly included, would not be able to operate this aircraft without the flight engineer. So I'm very happy to have this one, and I will be making full use of it today. Also sort of lowering our workload here a little bit. So let's get started on this one. He's gonna power up the aircraft, switch everything on that we need. We are loaded already. I can maybe quickly show you that.
Completed.
So we have 14,000 pounds of fuel on board, and you can see that's not even half of the total capacity. Nothing in the alternate tanks. We have full passenger 68, 1,000 pounds of extra cargo, so a cross weight of close to 89,000 pounds. Also meaning we will do the wet takeoff, but we will get there later on. Alrighty, while he is setting everything up, we can already get started over here. Of course, we are not using the GPS. We are doing very old-fashioned navigation. And I think here for Seattle it's not going to be a problem. You can see weather is quite nice. However, over at Juneau, there's really bad weather. And that's going to be interesting how we're going to get down there, since the airport does not have an ILS. So let's see. Anyhow, let's get started here. I will quickly show you the Navicraft things. Yeah, weather is quite nice. We are going to depart towards the north. You can see we have a VOR navigation, although I will probably try to skip this one, take a more direct way in there. But let's see later on. And I think first waypoint is the Papa Alpha, yeah, the PAJN, Everett. I was thinking about the Everett VOR. So let's see how we get there. Right, let's make this a bit nicer, like this. So we can fly a SID, of course, given that it is VOR based, but I think the Seattle departure should be. So let's see what we got here. Seattle VOR 116.8, just climbing on heading 341, and then on to PAJN. That's super easy. Let's see what they are saying here. So departure runway will be 34 right. Climb heading 341 on Seattle radial 341. Okay, so that's super easy. So what we are doing, we are setting up the Seattle VOR 116.8. And then I also want to select the PAJN on the second one, which is 10.6. We will use that afterwards. So 10.6 is active on the second one, and then also pre-selected here for the standby. Okay, and yeah, 0.4 miles, which makes a lot of sense. And then we are following a 341. So now we're just tuning this to, I believe this would be 340. So 341, that's our track outbound. So just really simple departure towards PAJN VOR, and then let's see if we can see that. Ooh, sorry, that's not what I meant to do. Okay, and then from PAJN to the Penn Cove VOR, and so on and so on, just going from VOR to VOR. Cool. Right, so that's all set. Let's close this for now. And yeah, since we have the flight engineer, everything is done super fast. We are technically ready for engine start already, so let's close up everything. Oh, he did that already. Fascinating, cool. Okay, now the thing is, I think we need to start at least one engine first before, or maybe all of them even, before we can do the pushback. I think pushback back in the 50s were not really a thing. They were rather apron positions, but today we need a pushback unless we can sort of turn out, you know, that's going to be too close. Okay, let's try to fire up and then ask for a pushback later on. Let's see if that works. So, the way we do this is the fuel pump should be on low for engine number 3. That's good. This is on engine number 3. We will put this to auto. and then we can fire up. So then after startup I quickly want to switch to the outside view so we can see it. So this is coming to both magnetos, and then we hit the start. We're gonna wait until the 9 count.
6, 9,
boost and prime,
12.
and then we should have a spark. Is it coming? Ah, no, it didn't catch. Oops, that does not sound too good. I think I need to put in, let's turn this off for a second. Let's see, this is auto rich, it should be, and I think I need a bit of thrust to get it started. Let's try that.
Three, 6, 9.
Oh yes, that sounds much better. Cool, very good. I'm just noticing I haven't checked. I think nav lights need to be on. Somehow the flight engineer is not doing that and beacons are on. Okay, that's good. Cool, so now we want to settle in at around 1000 RPM. Just like that, that looks very good. Same procedure with engine number 4. Now this can come off, this can come on. Engine number 4, both.
3, 6, 9.
And once again, I forgot the throttle. Are we catching? I think we are. Barely, but yeah, it's coming up. RPM is coming up a little bit. Cool. Okay, next one, engine number 2. This time I'm doing it first. Put in a bit of power. 2, this is coming off. Engine number 2.
3, 6, 9, 12.
Alrighty, looks good. And the last one, engine number 1.
Three, 6, 9, 12.
Sure if we can see it. Yeah, there. Okay, very, very good. So let's have the flight engineer do the after start flows.
Off and off.
And now I will try to get some pushback. Let's see if this works. I have no idea.
Generators and inverters.
I'm just gonna do manual pushback.
Emergency lights. Armed.
Just straight back and then we can take it from there. Engines are looking good.
After start checks complete.
That's a bit too much power. Okay, release parking brakes. That's down here. And oh, stop. Dang. Reverse, of course. And off we go. Very good. Yeah, so I didn't worry about traffic today. It's kind of a pity that we can't set the simulator back to like a specific year, and then everything would look like it has been back in the days. I think that feature would be kind of too crazy to implement, but yeah. Okay, let's go a little bit further, and we should be fine. Oh, there is traffic. What? It might be the tower. Okay. Let's hold it here. That should be good enough. Park brake. Stop pushback. And then we can taxi. Park and brake release. We are rolling. And let's see if we can find a good entry to the runway. We don't need a full length. These runways here at Seattle are super long. So we don't want to be running these engines with too much RPM, otherwise it would get into like this amplifying shaking, which is sort of around 1400, 1300 RPM, I guess. Flying the Clipper Liberty Bell today. Okay, let's see, I think we need to take a right turn here, and then there's our runway. Yeah, so what I really like about this aircraft is it feels very authentic and really puts you back into these old days, but at the same time PMDG managed to model it in a way that everyone can operate it after reading into some of the systems, into some stuff. So I think they really found a good way of making this aircraft enjoyable for a lot of simmers. Okay, let's pull the power to idle for a second. Right, and as I've mentioned before, before takeoff, completely forgot. Yeah, so today we're gonna do wet takeoff, meaning there will be water injection into the engines, since we are slightly above the threshold of 87,600 pounds. That's the limit. Above that you need to do wet takeoff, and we are just slightly above that today.
Hydraulic system down, forward, pressure quantity checked. Okay. Flaps 20.
Flaps are coming to position 20. And I didn't set the cruise altitude.
Flaps set 20.
This will be 16,000 feet today. It's for pressurizing the cabin properly.
Closed and on. Controls. Gust lock released. Free.
So we can see the cabin altitude later on will be at around 5,000. I think modern aircrafts have like around 3,000, so that's not so far off.
Bridge unlocked. Set. Transponder. On. Landing lights.
We still have one warning lamp on here, warning light, which I believe is for the oil pressure, but that's due to being at idle power now.
On.
That will come up when we apply thrust. Okay, before takeoff checks completed, and then let's go for it. Takeoff wet, and then off
Water
we go.
injection. On. 30 inches stabilize. 30 inches stabilize.
There's the shaking at around 1,400. Oh, the sound is so amazing.
30 inches stabilized. Cal flaps. Cal flaps. Cal flaps set. Full power, please. Going full power.
Full power, off the brakes. And now I'm just remembering, I also forgot to check the rotation speed, but it's around 105. Full power is set.
Full power set.
Okay, 105 knots, slow rotation. Just getting airborne, there we are. Now speeding up. Gears coming up. Don't want to be sinking here. And then we speed up to around 165 knots, and then we can climb a bit more. So there's speed 165, now we can pitch up in order to maintain that speed. And yeah, this departure is really straightforward, just straight out.
Meter power set. Climb power.
Okay, aircraft is trimmed nicely. This is cool. I think this is the other Boeing factory. Very, very good. Climbing a bit more. Okay, now let's get the gyro pilot to work. So we're on heading. This is coming on, and autopilot connect, or gyro pilot connect. It's technically not an autopilot. And the trim is looking very good. I really like that. And now we can switch directly to the localizer, since we are pretty much on our track into PMDG. Very, very good. Okay, let's see. We are 22 miles away from PMDG, and after that we go into that left-hand turn. So I think what I can already do is switch it to gyro pilot. Now we can dial in PMDG on number 1 frequency. Oops. There it is. Straight ahead. Just adjusting the course slightly so we are spot on. We don't need to turn that much. Localizer. There we are. And let's see. what the next VR after that will be, and then I will put you in music and cruise mode already. So after that we are looking at Takeoff 117.2. So 117.2. Let's see, no, we're not catching this one yet. Let's put this on standby. And I think as soon as we are catching the next VR, we can also go direct to the next one. Very well. Need to trim down a little bit, getting a touch too slow. And so we keep on climbing all the way up to 16,000. Nice, what a beautiful day here in Seattle. Passing right over the city. A little bit of low-hanging clouds back there. That's super, super beautiful. Alright guys, on that really nice view, I'm gonna put you into music in view mode, and then I will meet you back for the arrival into Juneau. Enjoy! Hello folks, welcome back everyone to the flight deck, and yeah, we are still at cruising altitude, flight level 160, or rather 16,000 since we are in the US. So yeah, we are about to go down at our top of descent, which I calculate to be at 50 miles from the next VOR, so we're getting close. So the first thing we'll do together now is start the descent. Just kill the altitude control, or the altitude hold, and then we can trim it down. And down we go. Now we could potentially just keep the cruise power settings as they are, and then we speed up to like close to 240 knots and just shoot down there. That would work, but I kind of, since it's really getting hard to slow this aircraft down anyway later on, I think it's kind of good to not to go too crazy. So let's do the descent flow, and this will bring back the power a little bit. Right, okay. Yes, I have to admit, I did cheat regarding the weather. Live weather would have been so terribly bad with basically zero visibility and super low hanging clouds. There would have been no way for us to at least legally fly into Juneau today, so I just switched it to some random fairly nice weather. I hope that's fine for you guys, but otherwise I think it would have been too critical flying into this airport. And yeah, while taking this decision to switch the weather around, I was really wondering how they managed back in the days, especially I think in this region weather often is kind of poor, so they probably did bring a lot of fuel to potentially even go to an alternate airport which has an ILS, which I did not really calculate for today. So yeah, maybe I should have brought a little bit more fuel than I have, but Anyhow, now the weather is good, we can get there. Right, and yeah, let's talk about our arrival. So, weather is nice, artificially now, but that's good. And we are currently heading into... I keep hitting the wrong button here. Into Sister Island we are, so we are there. And next one is the Sister Island view are 114, and the airport is down here on this yeah, in this sort of valley. There are two possible approaches. We're gonna come in from the west today and land in here. There's also an alternative approach which is really cool. It's like just visually down this valley on the way here, which I think is a very cool arrival as well. But yeah, I think we should go for this one today. Actually, now that I'm thinking, since we do have nice weather, we could also do the other one actually. Let's see. I think there's no scheduled or no published approach for through this valley. It's all visual. Now let's do this one. I think this is also quite good, since we do a lot of setting up DVRs and the localizer or the LDA. Yeah, let's stay with this one. So this is the airfield. We're gonna be landing on runway 08, and we can see that the localizer we have is quite an offset, 14.06 degree offset. And yeah, so we are heading into Sister Island. Sister Island VOR, we preferably want to be as low as 7,000 feet. Then we continue over to D-Ball, which will be on the 159 radial. Okay, and then over to D-Ball, and then down on the LDA DME, passing Barlow and passing the Coquelin Islands NDB or ADF. I think it's an ADF. Yeah, and then just flying the last bit visually. I think that should be quite fun. Right, so let's see. We are now 32 miles out of Sister Island VOR. Actually, just coming down nicely. We are descending with 1,000 feet per minute. That's perfectly good. And what I do like to do, just take the controls from the flight engineer for a second here. And I kind of want to bring the props back to around 2,000. It's just reducing noise a bit, and also helps us to slow down just a little bit more. And keep the BMEP at around 90. Like that. I should mention, guys, that I have the ORBX Alaska mesh installed for Microsoft Flight Sim, and the airport comes with it. So they have sort of custom-made Juneau airport for this mesh add-on, which is kind of cool. So we should be enjoying fairly nice scenery today, if it's loading in. It's a little bit blurry out there. And yeah, I think we will do it a little bit different. I've just looked at the charts again, and this radial is actually based on the Elephant approach fix, but we can take this shortcut. Let's go from Sister Island. We can go on the 027 track directly to Barlow, and then this should be a nice short final. And then at Barlow we want to be 3,700. Yeah, also we can see as we get lower, the MEP is climbing up a little bit. As we get into thicker air, the engines produce more power with the same thrust settings. So we can constantly pull back the thrust levers a little bit to stay at the desired power output. Right, and then let's see, 109.9, that's the localizer. It's not captured yet, but we have the what was the name? I think Kogan Island or something. Kogan Island NDB. That's indicated here with the yellow one. It's really quite tricky when we're used to having LNAV and VNAV from the modern airliners we usually fly. This is something completely different. It takes quite a bit of practice in order to get it somewhat right, but once you do get it right, it's super satisfying. Yeah, going slightly below 7,000. Okay, let's go back to gyro pilot, and then I think it was 027. Yeah, 027. Let's put this in here. It's really hard to read. That's 0.567. That should be it. Five miles to go to the VOR. Speed is dropping, which is very good at this point. And now what I always tend to forget, so I'm doing it right now, before we can move the flaps any second now, we need to switch on the, switch off the hydraulic bypass valve, I think it's called, not quite sure what it's called. But yeah, this one, I very often got stuck on this one. I was wondering why the flaps are not moving. I forgot to switch it back to the on position. Yeah, we can start to deploy the flaps at, I think it's 174, yes. All the way up to flaps 30 at 174, which we are just a touch above. This 175. Okay, very good. Coming up to the VOR, let's turn right a bit. Turn a bit more. Already passed the next localizer course. Okay, now we need to descend, but now I also want some flaps. So let's go flap 10. Let's go flap 20 right away. I need some drag now. This should be fine. Now the localizer is also captured, or identified, not captured. And now we can start to descend further. Speed is coming back quite a bit. Back to localizer. Overshooting a little bit, I was a bit late there. Yeah, so this is really a handful. There's so much stuff to do here. Let's see, we want to go as low as 3,700 for Barlow. $3,700, okay. Nice. This is so cool.
Interesting. What is my aircraft doing? Wow, okay. That's not what it's supposed to do. Hello? Hello? What's happening? Wow, I think I completely lost the gyro pilot. Just flying manually now. Which way am I going? I need to go way left. Yeah, sorry, this really threw me off now. I'm not quite sure what happened there. We are fairly close. Where's the airfield? I don't get it. Where did my localizer go? That makes no sense at all. Maybe I need to go. Maybe I need to go past this mountain. Okay, but it's 3,700 now, that's quite good. Okay, let's try this again. Altitude control as well. No, this is turning like crazy. I don't know what's happening here. Wow. What the hell? What the hell? Okay, anyhow. So we're gonna fly it manually, I think. I just need to pick up that localizer. That would be really helpful. 071. Let's try this. And that was 3,700 at Barlow. Yeah, we are there, that's okay. I'm still kind of flying in the wrong direction. I really hope I'm still on the right track, but it should be okay. I'm getting a bit low, but I think direction-wise we should be on the right path now. I think the issue now is we don't know at which point exactly we are intercepting the localizer, so we might be on a shorter final. Sorry, I didn't need to do that. I think down there, that's the airfield. But yeah, so we're doing some manual flying here. I really don't know what happened there. Gyropilot completely quit on me. Okay, so we are doing the full visual approach after all. Yeah, there's the localizer. A bit late now, but we are visual now, that's perfect. Okay. Yeah, so I did quite a lot of flights in this aircraft, but it's like so much stuff to do. It's always super busy. Okay, let's do in-range quickly.
Normal. Fuel booster pumps. On low. Fuel tank selectors. Mains on, crossfeed off. Hydraulic bypass valve. Down. No smoking signs.
I think I kicked this one off a little bit too late.
In-range checks complete. Flaps 20. Setting flaps 20.
I think it might get stuck there. Dang. Let's go back one notch and try it again.
Flaps 20. Setting flaps 20.
I'm gonna drop the gear, I need some track. Coming in a bit too fast. Okay, I think they are stuck here. Anyhow. Let's go flaps full, although we are still a little bit too fast. It's gonna be an interesting landing. Yeah, but the flaps are giving us a nice track now. And we should have props at 2400 RPM roundabout. Okay, let's try it. Not a good approach at all, but luckily we are visual. A bit too fast still. Ooh, there's a water runway next to us. Okay, idle power, and there we are. That was okay. Hitting the reverse handle, reverse thrust. And some braking power. Nice! Nice, nice. Okay, yeah, so the landing in the end was okay. The approach was completely shitty. But hey. These aircrafts are really harder to fly than the modern ones. At least in my opinion. I don't know. Okay, let's see. Let's taxi somewhere down there, I think. See if we can find a nice stand for us. Let's see, do we have an after landing? Let's see if he's now working again with us. Yeah, looks like he's hitting some switches.
After landing checks complete.
That looks about right for us. fast. Driving this thing like a maniac. Okay, let's leave it here. We've made it.
Parking brake is set. Cut engines.
Yeah, it's just cutting the fuel. And this is cutting the engines. One by one. Perfect. And we will head to the ramp manager. Ground power unit, exit, cargo, and then these stairs. Wheel chocks. And that should be about everything. He's still turning knobs and switches, but that's okay.
Parking checks complete.
Alrighty folks, so here we are. Welcome to Alaska, and thank you so much for joining me on this DC-6 flight. That was challenging. Honestly, that was not my best approach I ever did in this aircraft. I have had better ones. But anyhow, we made it down here to Juneau, so yeah, it was good. Really interesting aircraft. You can learn so much about historical aviation by just like getting involved with it and flying it. So that's really cool. But yeah, challenging to fly. It really is a handful. So thanks again for tuning in, and take care. See you around next time. Bye bye.